Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Pit of Motor Chaos. This is your host, Dave. I got on special guest, Austin Lenz. How's it going, Austin?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, how was your Christmas?
Great. Got to see family, friends.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you looking forward to New Year's?
Excited to get the new racing season started, that's for sure.
Yeah, hopefully the racing season will be better. We can get rid of the COVID-19, hopefully.
Absolutely.
So, let me ask you, Austin, how did you get started in drag racing?
It's always been a family thing. My grandpa and uncle drag raced, and then my dad started off in circle track, and he had my younger brother became too much. Circle track racing is a little more of a full-time job, so he switched over, and I just kind of grew up in it with the three of them.
So what year did you start racing?
2011 was my first year in a junior. Started off, and we were going 1120s in a junior dragster running 890 cars, and it was a great learning opportunity.
Now, did you have any success in juniors?
Yeah, we won a couple of events my first year out. Really, it was just mostly for fun, and we were just happy to be in a car. A good friend of ours, Tom Kuhn, his kid couldn't race it anymore, so he volunteered the car to us for the year.
So how was your first time experience going down a drag strip in a junior dragster?
Exhilarating, that's saying the least. It's life-changing.
Now, how many years did you do junior dragster for?
I was in it for about 2.5, 3 years. I started halfway through that 2011 year. Then I kind of grew out of the car, and my dad got his car, the car I drive today, back together, and I just kind of watched him until I turned 16.
So you're driving the car your dad used to drive now?
Yeah. My dad bought our car in '99, so it's been a family heirloom to say.
Now, what year is that car?
It's an '84 Regal.
84 Buick Regal. So what do you got under the hood?
It's a 565 cubic inch big block Chevy.
Nice. So what's fastest you've gone in that Buick?
What's next for it?
Now, what's the fastest you've gone in the Buick?
Fast I've gone was 604 in the 8, and that was pulling some timing to help it get out of the hole.
So this year, did you do any racing this year?
Yeah, we raced everywhere. Unfortunately, one of the home tracks, the Summit Motorsports Park, couldn't open the doors this year due to COVID restrictions. But we ran the full season at Dragway 42. Went to bracket finals for them in Pittsburgh, National Trail Raceway down near Columbus, Kilcare and Xenia. We had the opportunity to go to Jeffers Motorsports Park in Missouri. So we filled our event schedule for sure.
So how'd the car run this year?
It started off rocky. We put a bottom motor to it, and we weren't expecting to have so many suspension issues. Started off changing suspension left and right, and finally halfway through the year it started to come around to us.
Now, are you guys going to be doing any changes to the car in the off season?
Yeah, we're actually back halfing it, getting rid of the small tire. So we're doing a full back half on it.
Now, when you started drag racing in juniors, did you besides your dad, did you have any other drag racers that you looked up to or they inspired you?
Yeah, my grandpa's always raced. My uncle was really the one that took me racing every weekend. Although my dad was always in it, I'd go every chance I could with my uncle, and he was really my idol growing up.
So how about NHRA? You look up any guys in NHRA at all?
John Force is obviously the big name, but really I've kept my eyes on bracket racing. It's really more of what I want to do.
So are there any bracket racers that you look up to?
There's a big names, like the million winners, Kenny Underwood, Corey Galudi, another young kid my age, just living the dream.
So what are you looking to, for next season? What do we hope to see out of you?
A lot of points racing, probably supporting my home track there, Summit Motorsports Park, supporting Dragway 42. Definitely keep giving them the business after a hard year this year, having half a year canceled. Probably some big money racing, supporting the Ace Ohio events. They've got 2 great events every year. Maybe a little bit of traveling, try to get out when we can.
Now, are you going to be doing most of the driving this year? Next year?
Yeah, I do all the driving now. Dad's, taking that crew chief role and couldn't do it without him.
All right, so your dad's the crew chief. Any other crew members for the car?
Crew members every weekend, not so much, but I've got a huge support system between the entire KAT family. I've got sponsors that it couldn't do without it. Napa in Wellington, Ohio, B&L Hauling out of Sheffield. Got a massive support system, more than I could ever ask for.
No, is Rob Lenz your dad?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because he sent me a friend request on Facebook. All right, so now, so it's always been a family, drag racing has always been a family and activity for you guys, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that's good when when you do have a family involved like that. Because drag racing is all one big family anyway. Besides your actual, family members, you have the other racers and all the fans. They all become family for you.
Oh, yeah. We look forward to it every weekend, just going and hang out with our friends as much as we do to actually go and race.
Yeah, because I'm sure like all your other buddies with that race, they're willing to help you out all the time. Give you a part if you need a part for your car.
Oh yeah, they're all included in the support system, and I've truly been blessed with the opportunities I've been given from fellow racers.
So what do you enjoy most about being a drag racer, Austin?
Buckling in. I mean, there's no other feeling like that. Pulling belts tight and letting go of the trans brake. It's like I said earlier, it's just from juniors. It was a life-changing experience, and couldn't imagine life without it. Between that and seeing friends and family on the weekends, it's a wonderful life to live. That's for sure.
So when you line up with one of your buddies on the starting line, is he your worst enemy at the starting line?
I wouldn't say worst enemy. We're all competitive. Definitely friends between the walls, and friends in the pit area. We all try to do our best, no matter who's in the other lane. And I'd rather lose to a buddy and advance him.
Yep. So is there anything that you hate about drag racing?
It's not the cheapest hobby in the world, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Now, if you could have, fans remember one thing about Austin Lenz, what would you want the fans to remember about you?
Respectable, honorable. Try to stay humble as much as possible, even as a small track bracket racer. It's just want to be respected more than anything. Now,
if you can become a better drag racer, how do you achieve that?
More work ethic. Hitting a practice tree 1,000 times a week. Making better decisions when it counts. All around, it just takes a more extensive thought process on the racing surface.
All right, so you've been racing since 2011. So what still keeps you passionate about drag racing?
Everything. There's nothing about it that I'm not passionate about.
All right, now, do you have any sponsorship at all?
Yeah, Napa and Wellington, Ohio. They're hopefully coming on for their third year. B&L Hauling out of Sheffield, Ohio. They came on board about halfway through last year. Dad helps a lot out a bunch. The KF family offers their shop, their lift. Nick O'Halloran, he used to own a chassis shop years ago. He does all of our chassis work. It's a huge support system.
Now, how was it like? How was it like for you to drive the Buick for the first time down the track?
It was probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever experienced in my life. It was a Wednesday night testing tune, and it was track conditions are street car prep for the most part, and it's fun. And it was a wild event. It was it was crazy.
So do you remember what you ran on your first run?
The first run, no, because I lifted, it spun a little bit. The third run, I ended up going 10:22 in the quarter.
Now, when you get out there on the starting line, Austin, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions at all?
It starts 3 cars back. My dad will come give me a fist bump, and he'll hit his hand off the fender a couple times, and it kind of starts locking in from there. Strap the helmet tight. I roll through the water box once, back up, and then it kind of locks in. Do your burnout, clear it out twice, and stage it.
Now, what's been one of your most memorable wins so far?
Most memorable, the first one in a junior always, that one's always a big one in the topic. There was the first one at Norwalk. That was on the quarter mile. We still raced quarter mile, and everyone says if you win Norwalk, you can win anywhere. So that's always a big confidence booster. And then there was the first one back at 42, at Dragway 42, when they reopened the doors. So I got my first one at 42, and then at the old Dragway 42, and then I got one at the new Dragway 42. So that was a big one for me.
So you only do quarter mile racing?
No, we don't get the opportunity to race a quarter mile around Ohio that much anymore. I think there's one track that still does it as far as bracket racing goes, and that'd be Thompson. Quaker City, I think, was quarter mile and pro last year still, but I think they've gone to 8th mile. I'm not 100% sure on that for this season.
So you're doing a lot of 8th mile racing now?
Yeah, that's pretty much all we get to do. I don't think my setup in my car will make it to the quarter. I made one pull on it last year, and I think it hit the high side about 1,000 foot out. So.
Now, do you have a preference, quarter mile or 8th mile?
There's days I miss quarter mile, but as far as efficiency goes, the 8th mile is better in my opinion. The program goes faster. When there's cleanup, the cleanup goes faster, and it's just easier on parts, less gas. So I prefer the 8th mile, but I'm definitely not opposed to going back to quarter mile and having some fun on the long track.
Now, does it take a lot of preparation to get that Buick ready for a weekend of drag racing?
Not a whole lot. Last year was more than previous years just because of the constant issues we kept finding. We've been pretty fortunate, with a great motor builder. We got all our stuff done through Winter's Performance. That was another guy that pretty much will do the world for us. I think I forgot to mention him and the sponsors, and that's unfortunate because he probably does the most for us out of anyone. Anything we ask for. When you have good equipment, you usually get by on the preparation every weekend.
Well, at least you mentioned him now.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll hear about that all week.
Yeah. So, what are your favorite tracks to race on, Austin?
The home tracks are two big ones, Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk and Dragway 42 in West Salem. I grew up between both of them. I'm about 45 minutes in the middle of them. So, 45 minutes one way to each of them. And then, one of my favorite tracks, I didn't get to race on it, but as a kid I watched my uncle race bracket finals there. It's US 131 in Michigan. It's just a gorgeous racing facility. Everything from the flowers to the pit roads to the racing surface itself. So
is like Martin, Michigan on your bucket list to race on one day?
I definitely want to go back there and race there since I was younger and didn't get to race back then.
You have any other tracks on the bucket list that you'd love to race at one day?
This one's a little unreasonable, but I've always wanted to go to Alaska. They do have a racetrack there, and the scenery around it is just gorgeous.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, you never know. Maybe one day.
Yeah, check things off the bucket list as they go.
So what else do you have on a bucket list as far as drag racing goes?
As far as drag racing goes, you want to attend all the big events, the Million, get to travel. Most of the SFG races, just big money bracket racing, get to travel across the country. Just to experience new cars, different people, different racetracks.
All right, now Austin, where do you get your fire safety equipment from?
My fire stuff is all Sparco, helmet Simpson. Super comfortable suit to wear in and out of the race car. Wear it all day if it's cold out.
Now, what are some of the milestones that you've reached so far since you've been drag racing?
Milestones, I was Rookie of the Year at Summit Motorsports Park in 2017. That was my first year in points. I've been to bracket finals every year. I've been in points since then between NHRA's bracket finals in Indy or Dragway 42 goes to Pittsburgh. We were bracket finals team champions 2 years in a row, so that's always a big one. You're not just racing for yourself there, you're racing for the racetrack. Getting wins off the bottom bulbing, and then getting a win off the top bulb as well. That was a cool experience.
Now, have you had any accidents or close calls since you've been racing?
I've never been in an accident. There's been a couple close ones where I got carried away and got a little too much brake pedal. Cars made a move. I've had issues where the car caught some water under one tire and it tried taking out a tree or the wall, but got away clean on all those instances.
Well, knock on wood, you won't have any accidents, Austin.
Yeah, that's always the hope.
Yep. So, you ready for some fun questions now?
No, of course.
All right. Now, if someone were to come up to you and give you, say, we'll say $800 million, and they asked you to build a brand new drag race track, where would you consider building that new track at, and what kind of features would you want to put into that new drag race track?
I love home. I love Ohio.
So it'd be in Ohio.
Just the racing community around here. It's unheard of. the amount of talent, the amount of world champions that race at the local tracks every year, the amount of cars in itself, the amount of racetracks in Ohio, that'd be the only thing as a business standpoint. You're going to either lose cars to another track that's only 45 minutes away, or you're going to, take them away from a track you grew up at. But I love Ohio, and if I were to ever start a business, it'd have to be in the area. But as far as what I'd put into the racetrack, I absolutely love how Dragway 42 laid theirs out. You can go sit on the hills and watch racing all day, and you really couldn't find a better view of a racing surface.
Yeah, your dad messaged me trying to listen to your interview. I sent him the link now, so he should be able to get in there. All right, so Austin, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
I work to afford it. I'm big into football, but don't play. It's in my life pretty much working and preparing and race cars. That's about it.
You don't do no fishing or hunting, nothing?
No, we go fishing every now and then. We go ride dirt bikes and four-wheelers, but when it comes down to it, racing tops all.
All right, now if you could time travel and go, find a time travel machine and go back in the time, would you do anything differently with your drag racing?
Other than the cheesy make different decisions on the racetrack at different moments and tell myself, stay in it here, don't hit the brakes there. I don't think so. One little thing apparently affects everything, and I think I've got life pretty good and a good starting point. Only being 21 years old, I can't complain about a whole lot.
All right, next fun question is, what's your favorite food to eat?
Food? Gotta be tacos.
Favorite beverage?
Beverage? We're gonna go with sweet tea.
I love sweet tea. Do you drink any certain brand of sweet tea, or you just like all of them?
My friend, she lives in Georgia, Sadie Wick. She gave me her homemade sweet tea recipe, and I can't get enough of it.
Homemade, that sounds good. All right, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? Days of Thunder.
Good old Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of music to listen to?
A little bit everything. As far as when it goes racing, classic rock, kind of sets the tone for the weekend.
Exactly. Yep, can't go wrong with rock and roll and, drag racing. All right, so now, when you were growing up as a kid, Austin, did you have a favorite cartoon to watch?
A favorite cartoon?
Yep.
Shoot. Love me some Bugs Bunny.
No, can't go wrong with Bugs Bunny. Now, when you're at the track on a race day, Austin, how's your eating habits? Do you eat very light during race day, or do you eat regular during the day?
Yeah, I eat very little. I normally eat breakfast. Throughout the day, I don't eat anything. Sometimes I'll have some food waiting for me in the microwave that they cooked for dinner hours before. But other than that, I might munch on some chips or something throughout the day, but I don't eat anything heavy.
So at the end of the night, that's when you eat?
Yeah.
Now, do you know how to cook?
Occasionally. Nothing gourmet.
So what's your favorite dish to cook?
To cook?
Garbage, that's fucking garbage.
Ooh. Say tacos again, man.
You're just a tacoholic.
Yeah. Love my tacos.
All right. Now, can you think of one most embarrassing moment you had, during a race?
Most embarrassing moment during a race?
Yes, sir.
So we were at bracket finals, and my girlfriend, she was having a rough weekend, and I told her if she went to the finals for an Ironman that I would wear her tank top and shorts behind her in the burnout box while she was staging in the final if she went to the final for an Ironman. And she was in the final. I made a bet, so I held up to it, and she ended up winning an Ironman that day.
Bitch, I got 2 fires. I swear to God.
Wow. That's pretty funny. So you have a second most embarrassing moment?
A second most embarrassing moment?
Yeah. Putting you on the spot, man.
Yeah. Shoot. It's hard to choose just one.
Too many, huh?
Oh. Yeah. Believe it or not, I did that twice.
Oh, wow.
Lost both times. Yeah, I haven't made that bet since.
Wow. So, all right. So, what would you consider to be your fondest memory of your drag racing career?
My fondest memory?
Yes.
It's a good question. I'd have to say my last win was at Dragway 42, and happened to be a 32-car shootout last minute. We got done early, and the track manager at the time says, we're going to do $100 a car, 32-car shootout, and I had struggled all weekend, and my dad said, you know what, you're here. You might as well. So I went up there, and it was a combined class, delay box and no delay box. It didn't matter. So I hadn't hit it off the top in over a year, and then I said, we're just going to go off the bottom. If we draw a top boat car, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to do what we know best and let go. And I ended up having to buy. I got pulled for the buy first round. There was only like 31 cars that entered or something. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to throw the box in there. I had it in the back seat anyway. So I said, we're going to throw the box in there. And if I set it up to then I was going to tag it hard. I said it would be 15 red. I said, if we're anywhere near that, we're going to keep the box in it. Ended up being 13 red and left the box in all night and got it done.
Awesome. Now, if there's any young people listening to the interview right now, and they're they thinking in the back of their mind they might want to try drag racing, what kind of advice would you give young people to?
As far as bracket racing goes, it doesn't take the best equipment. You can start off small, get the hang of it, get some experience in the driver's seat, and that's another thing, seat time. It's getting good, and I've got a lot to learn myself, but it doesn't happen in one weekend. It happens. My first year racing, we were at a different racetrack Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'd leave Thompson at the middle of the night and travel to Ted and Jim's Dragway of Magnolia and be there Sunday morning. The more time you spend in the driver's seat, it definitely shows on the racing surface.
All right, now if people want to find out where you're going to be racing at next season, is there any way for them to find out where you're going to be at?
I normally announce it. I normally say something the week before. Most of my family gets and sponsors get a big list from me at the beginning of the year, and I want to try to post that as I lay it out prior to the season. But obviously, rain and weather takes a factor. If we were set up to travel one weekend and it looks like it's going to rain, we might find out different, better chance of racing and head there instead last minute.
Awesome. Well, Austin, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do this interview tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, no problem. Do you have any final words or, shout outs, any kind of good stuff like that before we close?
Brandon, totally sorry. Forgot you, but I did get you, winner's performance. You do more for us than anyone. But like I said, none of it's possible. Wellington, Napa, being out hauling, Dad, entire KF family, and everyone else who's ever helped us. It's not something easy to do. In our case, it's taken an army to do this for the last couple of years. But due to some great people, I don't think we've ever missed a weekend. So, I'm grateful.
Oh, wait, before we close, I got a question for you from Billy. Billy Craig said, he wants me to ask you what rear gear you run in your car?
What rear gear?
Yeah.
It's 456 for now with the small tire setup, but we're thinking it might have to get bumped up once we back half it and put a big tire underneath there.
All right, well, there's your answer, Billy. Thanks for your question, Billy. Well, Austin, thanks again for taking time tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity more than you could ever know.
No, I'm glad you had fun, and maybe we'll do another one in the future. You talk about some big winners. Get a big win going, and
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that big win on the air.
Yep, hope to have them soon.
All right, well, you have a great night, and I hope you have a great New Year.
You too.
All right, bye.